The Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the 17th day of February 2023, right here in the Cayman Islands, and February this year only has 28 days, even though on Wednesday I made it into a leap year by saying Wednesday the 29th, which will be actually Wednesday the 1st of March. But with that, we hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may be your own, may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. And to remind you that this segment of the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to live your best life today and make sure your family can too. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Again this morning, that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube. You do that simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And of course, we are on Facebook as well. So let's first look at the birthday shout-outs this morning. Again, they're proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to live your best life and make sure your family can too. So, Mr. Lenford Wilkes, he's celebrating a birthday today. Mr. Wilkes, employee at the Cayman Islands government, Government Information Services. And before we had all of the camera technology and everything else in the studio here, Mr. Wilkes was one of the videographers who, was in the studio with us and provided sterling service to us here at Radio Cayman before we had the cameras in the room as well. So, happy birthday greetings going out to Mr. Lenford Wilkes. Also, Miss Perlina Magal Lumsden. She is celebrating a birthday today as well. And let's look forward to tomorrow and see who will be celebrating their birthdays tomorrow, since we won't have a For the Record show tomorrow. Mr. Miguel Martin will be celebrating his birthday. Miss Dorcas Watson also celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Sasha Whitaker, she's also celebrating a birthday. Samantha Widmer, Mr. Virgil Ebanks, and Mr. Andy Nicholas Blake. They're all celebrating birthdays today. So we want to wish everyone a happy birthday today. Mr. Wilkes, Miss Perlina Lumsden, and those persons who will be celebrating their birthdays tomorrow as well. And again, to remind you that this segment of the For the Record birthday shoutouts proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to live your best life and make sure your family can too. It is my pleasure to have in the studio this morning, and I'm going to introduce him before we go off to our first commercial break. He always promises to come into the studio, and whenever we have time for him to do so, or whenever his business schedule allows, he's in here, with us as well. So this morning, it is my pleasure to say again that we have in the studio with us none other than Minister J. Ebanks. We're going to say a quick good morning to him, go off to a commercial break, and when we return, we're going to give him the mic. Minister, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Thank you so much for having me this morning. Good morning to the lovely people of Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. I'm happy to be here this morning with you all.
Excellent. Okay, we have one more birthday shout out, Miss Susan, before I throw the mic back over to you. So someone wants to wish Mr. Roberts Commander, I'm going to use his title, Commander Robert Scotland, happy birthday greetings as well. And of course, Commander Scotland is the head of the Cayman Islands Coast Guard as well. So folks, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Minister J. Ebanks will resume, so please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
During the 1960s, a Mr. Ulrich McNamee came to Grand Cayman from Jamaica to work as a schoolteacher. After recognizing the need for an agriculture society, he set about starting one. Mr. McNamee, along with 10 Caymanians, attended the agriculture show in Jamaica. The group was treated well by the Jamaicans and were able to learn much, including seeing the stores where excess produce were stored and the benefits of their agriculture show. After returning home from the Jamaican Agriculture Show, Mr. McNamee, along with 15 Caymanians, started to meet on a monthly basis at the courthouse near Hogstye Bay. The meetings were held to discuss the growth of local produce and create the rules and regulations upon which the Cayman Islands Agriculture Society would be born.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced courtesy of Mr. Charles Lindbergh Eden, The History of Agriculture, 50th Annual Agriculture Show magazine.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
It's all about humanity. It will be Saturday, March 4th, the 11th annual Rotary Central Health Check, the almost island-wide Rotary Health Screening. See us at Foster's Republic's West Bay, cost you less at Governor Square, West Bay Road, A.L. Thompson's Georgetown, Foster's at Countryside in Savannah, Bordentown, from 10 a.m. through 2 p.m. Take advantage of a free mini-medical, a physician's check on your blood pressure, your A1C, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your healthy weight evaluation, and more. The 11th Annual Rotary Central Health Check in conjunction with the Health Services Authority. Saturday, March 4. Save this date that could save your life. Rotary, all the good you imagine.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
They say you only live once. I say you only die once, but you live every day. I'm Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, longtime supporter of Radio Cayman. Live your life, my friends. Happiness is in the journey, not the destination. When you're ready, I'm here to support you with the best financial decisions for your family's future. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster, the sure way to protect your family. Call me when you're ready at 925-5433. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets.
Think life insurance.
The Department of Agriculture would like to inform the community of the holiday closure hours for the plant nursery, sales office, and abattoir starting from the 20th of February in preparation of the upcoming Agriculture Show on Ash Wednesday, February 22nd. All offices will be closed on Ash Wednesday. For more information, visit doa.gov.ky or their Facebook or Instagram page at Agriculture Cayman.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Minister J. Ebanks. Minister, so many things taking place. Lots of road work still going on, and of course on Ash Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, we will have the Agriculture Show as well. And while most of the management of that is really with the Agricultural Society, your ministry is the lead ministry, as far as agriculture is concerned as well. So you have to be a busy man these last few days here.
Yes, sir. It's been one week, and I can imagine what next week is actually going to bring because, we have the royal family coming in, and they will be visiting the show also.
Okay.
When we have a few delegates that will be coming in from other Caribbean countries. I think there's a couple of the ministers, agriculture ministers, that will be coming into our show this year. So we'll definitely have our hands full entertaining a lot of people for the show. And, just giving them that view and that look, the side of to see what we can actually produce and when it comes to agriculture and where we want to take agriculture also, but also be able to get their feedback too while they're here at the same time. So it is the show will actually be a very good show. I don't want to take away too much from it from Mr. Smith, but he's been doing a lot of the work behind the scenes work for it and pushing to get it done. But he's very committed to what he's gotten done so far, and from what I understand from him, this show is going to be like no other show. There's so much different things that he has actually going to be happening at the show that a lot of people would actually be more enjoyable into looking. And I understand that he's had these tightrope walkers that are coming in also.
Okay.
That'll be part of the show, and we've just given the pavilion a different lift and look this year, and prizes towards what the farmers will be winning is totally different. This year we'll be giving away trophies and a little bit more prizes towards them instead of just the little ribbons that they used to get before. So it just gives them that feel appreciation a little bit more, that we really appreciate everything that the farmers do for us. But it will be a great show. And tonight, Friday night, we have what we call our Gone Country night.
Yes.
Down there to actually kick off our pre-agriculture show. So that will actually be, that is free, so there's no excuse why nobody should not come to it. And we know Caymanians love their country music, and it's just something different, just to come and actually sit back, relax, enjoy, mingle, and, just have a great afternoon. I think the show will be very excellent tonight. I think the people of Cayman will love that flavor. I can't ever say that I've ever heard of the Caymanians or anybody ever putting on a good country show like this. So I'm looking forward really to tonight to seeing how that will actually go out, kick off.
Now, you mentioned that there will be ministers coming from other jurisdictions. Can you speak a little bit about some of the collaborative work that is being done with other jurisdictions in terms of agriculture, in terms of livestock, anything news on that front?
Yeah, we've been mostly doing a lot of back and forth work with Jamaica. We've actually just entertaining of bringing some more cattle from Jamaica. It was a particular breed that the farmers was looking, and we actually found some purebred cattle there in Jamaica that we could actually get, which was the red pole breed that they wanted. So we have a few of them that are actually in quarantine right now that will be getting ready to ship in, I would say, in a few weeks to come to the Cayman Islands.
And they're all been assigned to farmers already? Or you will be able to purchase once they reach here?
Everything we'll be able to purchase once they reach here. We do have some that we're going to be sending directly for the BRAC himself, and we actually want to, I think out of just two of them, we have two pure red pole bulls, which we actually would keep as the breeder bulls. So one will definitely go to the BRAC. One of them will be to the BRAC, and one will be here in Grand Cayman, so that we can continue that breed of cattle moving forward. And I know other farmers have been reaching out about bringing in more goats and stuff from Jamaica, which we're going to look to try to help to entertain them also. I've had several phone calls on that one, so we're going to be trying to help them out to see how we can facilitate them as best as we can with bringing a few more goats back to the island.
Where are we now with poultry here in the Cayman Islands, especially eggs? What can you tell us about the egg situation and prices in the Cayman Islands and the local production as well?
Well, see, last time on the show we talked about that, right? Our egg program that we have going on, and we're almost just right to the door with it right now, right? To release everything. We've actually just have to, there's some equipment that we're just waiting on to help the poultry side of it once that comes in. We've actually identified a Cayman Islands logo that would actually be on the cartons, so it actually displays that these are fresh local eggs. We've actually just hired a poultry manager that will actually be the one that actually goes around to make sure to certify, to make sure all of these farmers are kept up to the standards, and all the eggs are meeting the right standards that we're going to be coming out. We've seen a lot of social media ads with eggs lately, of the cost of eggs throughout the U.S. and everywhere else. So this is we thought this was one particular thing that in the farming industry that we could actually really hit right now to get done very quickly. So I am very pleased to say that, we are just about 99% almost there to start to push our local farmers out there to be able to produce the amount of eggs that the grocery stores would need. The grocery stores have been involved in the whole process. They have given us all their feedback of how they wanted to see things packaged and looked and stuff like that. So, it is just a matter of being able to deliver that consistency so that the stores know that, they can rely on them to make sure they have. So, it was taking a little bit of investment to get there. So, it was something that we had to make sure that we reached out to try to help the farmers get to that production where we want them to be at. But I would tell you within the next month or so, we should have a real big opening breaking about that and a big show talk about where we're at. We're definitely be able to produce and show the public our egg cartons and everything else that we're bringing in. So our cartons will have our Cayman Islands egg poultry logo stamp on them, and then they'll also have a barcode on them. But also on the side, we'll actually have also where the farmers could put their farm name on there, so which farm these eggs are actually coming from too.
A nice logo would be the smartest eggs in the world and show how our chickens here in the Cayman Islands know how to navigate and the roads and out on the waterfront and everything else. Because at one time you used to see a lot of roadkill on the roads in terms of poultry. Yes. You don't see that anymore because they have wised up. They're smarter than the drivers and everyone else on the road.
Oh, but I guess they're getting used to the traffic flows too, so and knowing what the traffic is. So, but it is something that it was from the very get-go that we've been working on, and I'm pleased and happy with the team that's been working on that and the committee that's been together. They have been really pushing it and getting it to where we're at right now. I know Mr. Leda and Mr. Nash has been spearheading that up and running with the ball with that from day one. So I do thank them for all of the work that they have put in to get that done and get it to where we're at right now.
We look forward to that, because all of these accomplishments that are being achieved, you have to make sure that the public knows about them, because, like I've said before, if you don't get control of the narrative, someone else controls it, and then the wrong message gets out there as well. So all of these good things that are happening, we have to ensure that they're circulated, that people know, about it as well.
Oh, absolutely. We will be doing a lot of PR work coming up very shortly from the ministry side.
Okay, excellent. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Minister J. Ebanks will continue, and we will also let you know when the phone lines will be open for you to converse with Minister J. Ebanks if you so wish. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 7:59.
What you got for lunch?
I'm having a red lentil penne pasta with Go Veggie dairy-free cheese.
And what's in the bag?
Fresh bellies, dried roasted red pepper snacks.
All I have are cup noodles. Where do you get all this fancy stuff?
It's all from Foster's Camana Bay in the Foster's Fine section, aisle 8.
All this at Foster's?
Yep. With new specialty items each month, you can even visit fosters.ky/finds to discover something new.
Trade ya.
Foster's. Better selection because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Caymanbrack and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Cayman Islands Monetary Authority wants your input on potential redesign of Cayman's banknotes. Via an online survey, residents and citizens will have the option to select from specific themes and submit additional ideas of their own. Responses will be due by March 2nd. For more information and to submit your preferred choice, you You can visit cima.ky. A unique and modern technique is now available at the Health Services Authority that offers an alternative form of treatment for tumors that is considered less risky, less painful, and requires a shorter recovery time. Radio K-Man Shanda Gallego reports.
While many tumors are traditionally removed via surgery, the new minimally invasive radiofrequency ablation (RFA) technique was successfully performed at the HSA on a patient with a renal tumor. This is the second time the procedure was performed on island, both with successful outcomes. The patient, Robert Slatter, did not expect to be informed that he had a tumor growing on his kidney during his visit to the general practitioner. He showed no symptoms related to the abnormal growth and came to the HSA for an unrelated issue. The tumor was discovered after he was directed to the Accident and Emergency Department for further testing. Mr. Slatter's medical team at the HSA discussed the treatment options with him and decided on using the minimally invasive RFA procedure as the optimal technique given his unique circumstances, as well as the size and location of the tumor. A multidisciplinary team headed by Dr. Lemos and consisting of HSA urologist Dr. Rafael Krupaniwas, general practitioner Dr. Beatriz Esteban, and clinical specialist Mr. Raul Flores from Boston Scientific worked collaboratively to ensure a successful outcome. After 4 hours of recovery, the patient was discharged and went home without complications. Shanda Gallego, Radio K-Man News.
And the celebration of all things coconut is happening at the 8th Annual Coconut Fest tomorrow at Pedro St. James. CAGTV's Donna Bush reports.
Organized by the Tourism Attraction Board, the 8th annual event provides a space for entrepreneurs to promote and sell their locally made products while highlighting the precious coconut fruit. Coco Fest was created as a way to celebrate the Cayman coconut and to preserve its ties to Caymanian culture and heritage. Now, the festival, which also highlights local cottage industry businesses, is about remembering a time when the coconut industry was vital in Cayman. The event, whose main sponsor is Proven Bank, will highlight dancing and other performances, arts and crafts, and great foods, as well as coconut treats. Now, if you'd like to enjoy Coco Fest, it all happens from 12 noon to 6 p.m. this coming Saturday. For more details, you can call 947-3329 or email marketing@tab.ky. Please note that additional parking is located at the Savannah playing field down the road and the rear of the Cayman Islands Baptist Church. The TAB courtesy bus will also run back and forth to those areas to shuttle patrons to the admissions gate.
Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News for Jerry Smith. World leaders are in Germany to discuss global security at a conference that's excluded Russia for the first time. Speaking at the annual event in Munich, the German defence minister said countries across Europe needed to increase military spending. A British spy has been jailed for more than 13 years. David Valentine Smith was found guilty of passing secrets to Russia. He worked as a security guard at the UK's embassy in Berlin. A Chinese investment bank has revealed that its billionaire founder has gone missing, prompting shares in the firm to drop to a record low. China Renaissance hasn't been able to contact Bao Fan. There's speculation that the authorities are carrying out a renewed crackdown on finance and tech companies. A government panel in Japan has proposed raising the age of consent to 16 as part of a major overhaul of sex crime legislation. It's currently 13, one of the lowest in the world. Police reinforcements have been deployed in Nigeria's biggest city, Lagos, in response to unrest thought to be linked to a severe cash shortage. Gunfire has been heard and some main roads were blocked. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Bodden Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio. Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day is back! The 54th Annual Agricultural Show at the Stacey Watler Agricultural Pavilion in Lower Valley. Ash Wednesday, February 22nd. Raffle tickets are on sale now, and for only $25, you can win $20,000 and so many other prizes. Raffle tickets include general admission to the show. For more information, visit them on Facebook or caymanagriculture.com.
Whether it's routine care or highly complex surgery, when it comes to your health, you want the best. Health City has Cayman's most comprehensive range of in-house medical services. Recognized for quality and excellence, Health City brings together expert doctors, the best technology, and the latest techniques to understand your health and ensure you get the care you need. From Camana Bay to East End, you can trust the team at Health City. Health City, world-class healthcare within your reach.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 78 degrees. Relative humidity is 89%. The barometric pressure, 30.01 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east-northeast at 3 knots. Overnight low temperature was 75 degrees. Synopsis indicate light to moderate winds expected over the next 24 hours as the high-pressure system moves further east into the Atlantic Ocean. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area, which are moving towards the west-northwest. Now, the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of morning showers, and temperatures today will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, expect fair to partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be north to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're presently at a high tide, and the next low tide will be this afternoon at 2:14. High tide again this evening at 7:24. The sun will set this evening at 6:25 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:52. And the outlook is calling for moderate to fresh winds along with moderate to rough seas from Sunday morning as another high-pressure system moves over the eastern United States. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. Developing winning habits is a blueprint for living a better life.
As Stephen Covey said in his best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny.
Change your thinking, change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong series. The Cayman Strong series is brought to you by OnCourse Cayman. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. OnCourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit oncourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. OnCourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look this time at traffic. Traffic is busy coming from the east on Shamrock Road. Some roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. Busy traffic also coming off of the Esterly Tibbetts Highway heading towards the Butterfield roundabout. Slight delays expected. And eastbound traffic on Crew Road is moving on light to moderate. And traffic on Crew Road heading to Georgetown is busy. Steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, as well as off the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Into Georgetown on Shedden looking pretty good as traffic is moving along moderately. And out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, light to moderate traffic flow, as well as on Edward Street. As we turn our eyes to Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moving along moderately in both directions. And coming from the Westway four-way stop, moderate flow of traffic. That's the very latest on your traffic. If you've seen any accidents or incidents on Cayman's roads, give us a call here at Radio Cayman, 949-6990. Have a good morning and drive safe.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Minister J. Ebanks. For the persons who were querying the time that the gates will open for the show, Minister.
Yes, sir. The times are 6 to 12. 6 to 12.
Okay,
today.
so 6 o'clock in the evening, p.m., that they will open up as well. Okay, here's one of message that we received from one of our listeners, and we'd ask you to comment on this. It says, good morning, Honorable J. Ebanks. I was thinking about your new egg program. With thousands of wild chickens in all districts and the many hatchings of chickens, with many of the little chicks getting killed on the roads by cars and dogs while they both search for food, how about creating an opportunity from this problem? Maybe create a poultry food co-op and allow people to catch these chickens, put them in safe, secure, and proper chicken pens in their yards, or a central chicken pen to raise them for eggs or hatchlings in each district. This would be a kind way of reducing the growing quote-unquote pest sentiment of the chickens, and would also increase be an increase of food, source of food and security for poultry, meat, and eggs. Government would only have to subsidize the backyard pens or district co-op pens by maybe helping with materials to build the pens, discounts at the agriculture department, blah, blah, blah. But what the person hasn't said here in terms of the management of that, who would manage it, and how do you distribute the proceeds, whether or not it's eggs or what, in terms of who contributes, how do you distribute it as well? And I know that there must be some challenges. I saw where the Department of Environment had some input in the chicken farm that was being proposed in the Eastern District as well. So in terms of seepage into our water, there are certain controls. So it may not be as simple as people think when you get to that point that you're outside of your backyard farming and having your own little chicken coop to keep chicken in.
Right. Well, also, I mean, it is actually a growing problem that we see. We see it happening all over the island, right? But I mean, there is something that we probably need to look into somewhere down the road. But I've just made a note of it, and then I'll pass it on to my team and see if it's something that we can come up with what we could actually do about it. And if there is, then we can actually get back one day on your show and come up with an idea, put the ideas back out there.
Okay, so Mike is yours. Minister, I know we're going to talk about, we have a caller? Okay, let's grab the caller first, but we will be talking about housing, we'll be talking about traffic, we'll be talking about roads as well. So several things on the table this morning. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to the Honourable Minister. Jay, George Ebanks here. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Ebanks.
Good. Jay, just a quick little question. Of course, you know this, but the cost of living in Cayman is increasing. Of course, globally is doing the same. I have now decided to embark on a little small-scale backyard farming again in actually Newlands at the house. But can you enlighten me again on where the Ministry and the Department of Agriculture is or can assist backyard farmers in their personal endeavors to manage the ever-increasing cost of living, especially foodstuffs in these islands, by doing backyard farming? I mean, does the Agriculture Department have any sort of program or sort of incentive to help backyard farmers with any cost reductions on vegetable plants or little seedlings or whatever you call them? I'm not a good farmer, so I don't know probably the correct name, but I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you know what I'm trying to drive at. But I'm just looking to see whether, okay, if we want to encourage backyard farming, what role does the ministry or the department play in giving a little, even if I mean I don't see nothing wrong with even giving free plants, not to every willy-nilly, but somebody who has a little business plan or a good idea what they want to do. Can you enlighten us on that, please?
Yes, sir. What we're doing right now, we're getting ready to go out. We're trying to define what a backyard farmer is and what a commercial farmer is going forward. And what we're actually going to do is start to produce these. I know before they had the IDs and they had actually stopped. But what we're coming back now is we're going to bring back the IDs. So on that particular ID, it identifies who you are. Because one thing that I wanted to actually look at doing is be able to control what is actually being happening at the agriculture department when it comes to selling a lot of the products and getting a discount on a lot of the products.
Right.
Because we've seen where we're ordering products and businesses are taking advantage of it and coming in because a lot of it that we bring in, we are at a reduced cost. Right. So once we roll out this program, and that should be very ready to go very shortly here now, to identify, then we can actually say, okay, when you're a backyard farmer, these are the criteria that you're going to have to meet, and then these are what the benefits that you actually get as being a backyard farmer versus if you're a commercial farmer, because like how we did in Grace when we actually helped the government gave the $3 million out to help the farmers. We want to make sure that when we're giving these to the farmers that it is actually going into the right hands. And we're knowing, and we have the data driven to say, okay, well, when we do it at Mr. Ebanks' farm, we know exactly what Mr. Ebanks is growing, how much he's growing, and what he's producing out there. Okay. So very shortly, sir, the wheels have been moving a little slow, but I can tell you now that they're at the very top now, where it's going to start to spin faster now, because we're at the end of it, mostly now to roll out a lot of this stuff coming in a very few months coming now in this year.
When I talk about the backyard farming, like in my case, though, and probably many other cases too, it would just be for personal home consumption within that household. So it won't be. I mean, I don't see the need to sort of micromanage it much. Certainly, nobody would be averse to having somebody come out from the department ever so often with conditions and with the proper timing to look at what the person is growing and make sure that they give them some advice as to how they can make it much more fruitful, or the plant much more healthier and stuff like that. But this is something that you would really be growing stuff, peppers and tomatoes and different things for your own household. I think one little coupling that could go along with that, Mr. Minister, is that probably a little program could be put in place that if you are going to get, if you're going to be a backyard farmer and you are going to get support from the ministry or the department, that the department could have or give support to those stalls along the roadside who has stuff for or actually donate to the farmers market. I mean, backyard farmers could if we're getting support from the department, reduce costs or even free planting or whatever, we could give some of the crops to the farmers market to be sold, which would be a sort of a bonus because we actually benefiting the actual wider society, and it would be one way of saying, okay, I got some stuff for free from the department, and I've now harvested it, and I'm going to give it back to the community. But this, that's just an idea. I'm not saying that has to be done, but that's just it's just an idea to give.
Caller, if I may, sorry for interrupting you there, but just to say to you that the Department of Agriculture, I think it's usually on Saturdays. I don't know if it's still continued now, Minister. You may have more information on it, where they actually give lectures and have classes in terms of helping backyard farmers. So, I'd say that on that point. The second point would be, depending on the scale, the size of your backyard farming, you could actually go to the agriculture department and with $50, which is not a whole lot in the Cayman Islands these days, you can get sufficient number of peppers, be it seasoning or hot peppers, tomato plants, bok chow, all sorts of things. So I don't think, unless it's a huge scale, a large scale backyard farming, that anyone should need any financial assistance from the government to do backyard farming. Yes, the advice and someone coming out there to look to give you advice. And many occasions, when you go out there to buy plants, the persons there, they can give you advice right there as well. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Froylan, who, when I go there, I always ask for him because they know, how to give you advice. So a lot of what you're asking, what you're talking about, it's available now. It's just a matter of letting the public know that it is out there, for you to avail yourself to.
Okay, so you're saying though that it is available, but perhaps some better marketing.
Yes,
sir. All right. Well then. Thank you for that, Mr. Host and Mr. Minister. I wish you a fantastic day and a very productive day. God bless, and God bless these Cayman Islands.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another caller, Minister. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Officer.
Good morning, sir. Go right ahead. We're hearing you.
I hear you, man. Okay. James Sterling Bank III, better known as Jimmy. I'm West Bay. Born and raised on the 16th of March, 1942.
Captain Jimmy, how are you, sir?
Oh, Jay, I'm good, man. Very, very thankful,
So you give me your Northside heritage then?
No. I said born, born in West Bay. Trust me, man. No. You don't get away with that. You remember I voted up here,
That's right, sir. You sailed in the North Side.
Yeah, man. Trust me, man. Okay. This is something now I'm putting in your lap. Right in your lap.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm throwing this down to West Bay. Grab onto it quick time because you can get some calls, I believe. When I was growing up, and I grew up here, trust me. Every house in the district, let me take back everything. 99% of the houses in West Bay had their own chicken coop in their backyard. Chicken coop. Eggs produced by a male rooster. Nothing was said about that kind of thing. That was our way of living. We had our stuff fresh as they come, no chemicals. These days, the people, I'm addressing this thing properly and once. The people that come here, that we brought here, they seen that this country was the best in the world. Okay, they brought their ideas down here, throw them around, scatter the people out, got what they wanted, and now this is the result of this kind of thing. Now, everybody have the right to have something to eat in their yard. Everybody. That's the way we grow up. And we need to stay close to our beginnings. We are being driven away from our beginnings. I don't care who take it wrong. That's their business. We need to be original. If you want the people to come here, we will be original. That's why they came here, because they came here for something different. They never been like that before. Okay. Now we're going to spoil it now, because the majority of them do not like what they see. We don't need no more chemicals in our body. We can grow our stuff fresh. You have your chicken bed in your backyard, like we had. I said coops, coops, man, for a coop. And let us stick to that. Let us stay native. We don't have to take that kind of nuisance advice. We don't have no chicken farm in our backyard. Have your chicken coop. For your personal reasons, instead of going to them stores and buying it, chemicals raised up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me see and hear what people are going to say about that. Thank you all. And Jay, don't forget to coming at you.
All right, Captain.
Okay. Thank you.
You know where to find me.
Thank you very much. I have another WhatsApp message here, but we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I will share these comments with the Honorable Minister and with our audience. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
So much happening, so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Cocoa Fest is back at Pedro St. James, Saturday, the 18th of February. From noon to 6 p.m., enjoy crafts, games, music, coconut-inspired food and treats, health and beauty products, and enjoy local cooks, craftsmen, artisans, and farmers through a shared love of the Cayman coconut. Admission is only $10 for adults and $5 for kids 6 to 12 in age. 6 and under get in free. So go coconuts at Cocoa Fest and enjoy one of Cayman's culture and tradition Saturday, February 18th. For more info, go to info@pedrostjames.ky.
Brought to you by Proven Bank.
It's time for the event of the season. Miss World Cayman Islands presents the Bows and Stilettos Fashion Show. Ladies, come dressed in your favorite stilettos, and gents, wear your most dashing bow tie. Join us on Saturday, February 18th at Sea Alyssa for a night of fashion, flair, and fun. Cocktail hour, 7 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets available at ticketsplus.ky. Buy before February 1st for the early bird discount. Come support our Miss World Queens and past contestants and Girl Power members as they showcase Cayman's finest clothing at Bows and Stilettos, February 18th.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Minister J. Ebanks. So one of our listeners has said, good morning. Thanks much for the continued innovation being undertaken by Minister J on many fronts. Chicken eggs for commercial consumption require breed selection and breeding processes in order to achieve market acceptability. The suggestion concerning current free reign is hardly an option if the outcome is to be attractive commodities. Person goes on to say, I salute the minister in leading out of the box thinking towards solution. I'm in total agreement regarding the guardrails around the provision of resources for backyard farmers. The limitations you provide are reasonable and prudent as well. So I want to thank the caller for that. And I must say that sometimes, for instance, I was out in my yard picking ackes the other day, and I startled a hen. Didn't know about, because a few days before that, there was no hen nesting there, and I startled this hen. And of course, those of you, who know from the old days, when you hear the hen cackling, you know what that means, that she has laid eggs. So you just get out there and you search for them. So she jumped off the nest and started to cackle and ran away. And I went there and there were 8 eggs there. And I say, well, these have got to be fresh. So immediately took them out. Now, when you compare the size of them to the size of eggs that you would get when they're fed, with the genetically modified feeds and things of that nature, the size may be different, but the quality So whether or not you're looking for size, quantity or quality, is another question, as well. But the writer certainly has a point there in relation to that. That if we're talking about on a commercial basis, you want to look at whether or not it's commercially attractive. But for your own home purposes, I may end up having to do 2 eggs to get 1, but at the same time, I know where it's coming from.
Yes, sir. You eat what you grow, right? And you know exactly what you grow.
Yep.
You know what's in it when you grow it.
Okay. One of our listeners wanted to know, like to ask, how does sorry. Let me find. Shouldn't have any. Okay. Person wants to know if we can provide an update on the East End farmland project. Says the minister told us that it should be ready to be distributed to farmers in early 2023. Just wondering how it is coming along. Person says, I would also like to throw this idea out again one more time. The chickens, please, let's introduce a national plan for these chickens, which were sent here for the purpose of providing food for the Cayman Islands in times of food shortages. The chickens need to be trapped and taken to a proper containment facility on the grounds of His Majesty's prison northward. Prisoners would run this project as part of their work rehabilitation. Chickens to produce all the eggs for their needs, and a few more things that they've put on there. But again, we know what Northwood Prison is capable of producing, and I haven't been to an agricultural show in the last 2 years or so, but they used to have their displays there, their all of the work that they did in terms of design and carpentry, but also what they produced, on their farms. I'm not sure whether or not that still take place, Minister, but get you to opine on that as well.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure whether the prison is involved into the show this year. I would have to allow Mr. Smith to comment on that one when he gets a chance to. But the just to go back, about when someone mentioned about the poultry food co-op before. I've written that down and going to take it back to my team, and then we'll see what we can come up with, and then as a national plan for them. And then you had a caller also spoke about the East End farmland.
Yes,
wanting an update. Yes, OC, I am pleased to say that we are the draft policy for the land lease policy for these farmlands has been just about ready to go to cabinet now, and for cabinet's approval. I'm not sure if that's if we have to carry to the legislation or not, but I know definitely it'll be going to cabinet very shortly for their blessings. And once that is done, then we actually going to start to look into the land. We've already started to speak to Mr. Wilbur on the land up there of how Lands and Survey can come in and help us identify where we can put the road in, and then how we can parcel up the lots.
And would the lots be leased? Because I believe depending on the length of the lease, you may have to go to Parliament with it, or
yes,
or
if
not.
it's
That
over
would determine
5 years, I think you have to go to Parliament with it to let them know. I'm going to. I mean, that is something that we'll have to figure out whether we do, because it is a large parcel of land. And if we have to go to Parliament every 5 years with the amount of needs that we would be, maybe it's some blessing that Parliament can give to that one particular. Because what we didn't want to do is actually break it down into parcel lots. What we actually wanted is just identify it out into lots, so that it could remain as one big parcel the same way. And then we put a rough road through it and identified it A, B, C, D parcels like that. And then also, one thing we realize is that, water provisions and sanitary provisions we would have to provide is, building a restroom out there so that all the farmers could use one area, but also creating like a storage area too, our parking area where part of the farmers could actually physically go, and if they wanted to box and pack up their stuff, they had an opportunity to have a particular area there. So a lot of talks and discussions have been around it. And I mean, when I first came in, when people told me they've heard farmers said they've been hearing about this for 20 years. I said, well, you've been hearing about it for 20 years, but we're going to deliver it for you now. And we are that close right now. And I tell you, I'll be one of the happiest persons in agriculture once we get that delivered, because I know a lot of the farmers have been asking about it. I have been getting a lot of younger generation people that have been asking that to want to go into farming, but just cannot find the property to be able to farm or afford a property to buy just for farming directly. So this is actually going to help push our food security where we actually really need it to go. Okay. And identifying areas of where we can do our container farming, where we can do a control environment where farmers can. I mean, when I've had the opportunity to visit and seeing what some of our older farmers went through, to what the new technology it is in farming now. There's no weeding, there's no pesticides, and basically you can run everything from your app off of your phone when it comes to container farming and reap almost 100% of what you're actually growing and getting the best quality of it too, and be able to produce it a lot faster than what you can do out in the outside environment. So those are stuff that we're looking at, and I know I've been working along with the Deputy Premier very hard, and I must say that I do thank the Deputy Premier for all the work that he has done to really help the farmers in identifying cash money where we actually can put aside for the farmers going forward. That is going to be a huge thing, because we hear it from farmers all the time that none of the banks want to lend nobody anything because they don't recognize farming as a job. It's more as a hobby to them. They look at it. Yeah. So it is something that the Deputy Premier has been working very hardly on, and I know it's coming to the front very closely with it, but I won't say too much on it right now, because I know that'll be part of his announcement very shortly when he does. But I do thank him for all of the work that he's been doing with that. OC, just to go on a little bit more too on the or just to jump off of the farming, because and go a little bit more on to our housing project. Just to let everybody know that the NHDT went through all of the procurement process lately, and they've got the green light to go ahead and start to build 100 homes right now. So they're rolling out the 19 right now as we start in Apple Blossom. They've got the green light to go ahead and start to do build the homes in North Side, which I understand North Side will be probably starting in mid-March. We're identifying, going back through lands and survey right now to parceling up another West Bay parcel, which will be over 50 homes up there, which will actually be able to be moving very quickly about mid-year. Because, our big thing is we want to try to push as many affordable homes out as possible. Yeah. And I must say that the board has been doing a great job with that. They've been on the ball, getting a lot of work done. But, we've also, taken another approach to housing, where we've started our housing repairs inside of physical NHDT. And I must say that the housing repair department has been doing really great. They have done somewhere close to, I think, around 50-odd homes already helping out people, and especially with the budget that they've had, the project manager that they have that's working along with them to make sure that, we're helping the people bring their homes up to the standard, because there's a lot of homes that we've actually walked into that, could have been a fire hazard, if we didn't do anything about it. And helping the elderly people, a lot of elderly people out with, those that could not afford to help fix a leak that's had a leak for almost 10 years in their house. I mean, I've been to some homes where I've seen the conditions, and I'm wondering, is this what we want to see our people living at, right? And I'm so happy that the government and then supported us to pushing money more into housing repairs to get out there to make sure that we get as much repairs that we can for those that really need the help, And, this started from coming off of seeing the last hurricane that we had where a lot of people need help, just to help doing a few touches up on their house. And these guys have been doing an excellent job, and I take my hat off and I applaud the housing for all of the hard work that they have done so far. And, I do know they have a long list of tasks of people. I know people are calling, wanting a house. I just want them to know that the board is actually pushing and pushing to deliver as much homes as they can.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, Minister. When we return, you'll stay on housing a little bit more. On Wednesday's show, there was some concern expressed by about the fact that people in Georgetown feel that not as much is being done, for housing in Georgetown, and they're being forced as Georgetowners to move out of their district into the other district because those are the districts where most of the new housing is being constructed. Also, I'd like you to opine and tell us where we are if we are looking beyond single dwellings and maybe multiple dwellings, because sooner or later the availability of land for single dwellings is likely to dry up or to be limited, and whether or not we're looking more to apartment complexes, and if the government isn't prepared to get into that, whether or not they're prepared to offer incentives like what do we call them again? Duty concessions for persons who are prepared to build exclusively for the lower income market as well. So folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Minister J. Ebanks. So we sort of gave you a snapshot of some of the things that we want to discuss as far as housing is concerned, but we do have a caller, so let's grab the caller first. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, sir.
Nice to hear you on there, sir. I just touch on housing quickly. Mr. Frank Hall, if anyone maybe should be a national hero and considered, he came to this island and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people have benefited from what he has done to provide, if you want in quotation marks, put the term low cost, but made it available hundreds and hundreds of Caymanians. And I think a recognition of what he has been able and done, his model of building, I don't think has really been duplicated by anybody else. And not even the government, really, for what he has been able to do. You've heard the phrase, what goes up must come down. I'd like to add to that, what goes down will go out. When we look at our beaches and what's happening to our beaches island-wide, West Bay Beach, the south down from Red Bay Beach come down where all the trees are falling over, and the sea every year is getting closer and closer to the road, and the so-called boardwalk thing that they constructed there. We're having less and less sand, and that's because we have less and less corals on the reef. And this isn't a case of being what they call disparaging. They call anybody that thinks about nature, they want to call them tree huggers as a bunch of idiots. But our coral reef is what gives us sand. Our sand is what gives us our tourism industry, our beach industry. Because we only have three products now. We used to have Caymanian, beach, sand, sun, and sea. But we don't have Caymanians in hospitality anymore because they allow thousands and thousands of cheap labor to come into the island, displacing Caymanians in the hospitality industry. They can't live on what they're paying them. But from an agricultural standpoint, some of the products that are used, the insecticides and other products that are used, they all end up in the sea as they go down through the soil. Internationally, some of these that we use here, I am told, have been found to be damaging in the environment and are no longer used. Some of them even in the U.S. They can't use them in the U.S. anymore, but they still make them and export them to countries that don't pay attention to these things. And I would ask you, sir, if you could have a full and thorough review of the chemicals that are used, sold by the agricultural department or by the private landscape companies or the gardening stores, to really understand the effect of those things on our natural environment. Mm-hmm. And I would ask you to do something as well as the standards that we have for sewage discharge are the standards that were internationally accepted in 1982 when the Water Authority law was first put in. Those standards internationally have been reduced by 1/6. For instance, the biological oxygen demand and the suspended solids were 30 parts per million. They're now down to 5 parts per million. And that is all that our Water Authority looks at or requires. Of course, household septic tanks are way, way above that. And also internationally, the content in sewage and discharge of nutrients, nitrogen and phosphate. When you look on the beach and wherever you see that green springy algae on the foreshore, rest assured that's killing our sand-producing corals. And that's why we have so many dead corals all around the island. Additionally,
has the sargassum also contributed to any of that? The influx of sargassum?
Well, it is thought, Mr. O.C., that, or Mr. Moderator, as my good friend, I love that. It is thought that the flourishing of sargassum could be due to the additional nutrients. When it would normally die off mid-Atlantic, it's not happening because when it reaches the Caribbean, especially the South American Amazon River discharges, are thought to be nutrient-rich, and that's been flourishing. Once the remnants of sargasso seaweed enter the Caribbean, that's what makes them flourish so much and continue to grow when they would normally die off. I don't know. I haven't really researched that in depth.
But what I was curious whether or not the sargassum that we have here, with that covering the reef area and blocking sunlight and everything else, whether or not that may also contribute to the deterioration that we're seeing.
What that does is it kills the sand grasses, turtle grass if you want to call it, along the foreshore when the thick moths come in and they block out the sunlight. Also, when it starts to decompose, that thing that you smell, that is what's called as a result of the excess biological oxygen demand. That is, for it to break down when it reaches the shore and to decompose, it needs oxygen. And when it doesn't have oxygen, that's aerobic decomposition. And when it doesn't have oxygen, it goes into anaerobic decomposition, which is what a septic tank is. And that in itself also becomes poisonous. As it decomposes, it releases the nitrogen, the phosphorus. That adds to what ends up on the reef and causes the excess algae blooms, which kill the coral by eutrophication, suffocation, and also the increased nutrients displace the food that the corals would normally feed on. So they die from starvation, and they die from they also then die from being suffocated.
Caller, we have about 2 minutes before we go to our headline news. So if there's something else that you want to get in, let me encourage you to do that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Along the same path. Then the other aspect of sewage treatment and any land-based source of pollution discharge is to look at the pathogens, the human pathogens, because of the inadequately treated sewage. That kills the staghorn, elkhorn coral, which are the primary corals that give us sand. And in the Florida Keys, for example, 10 years ago, after they had various studies and they wanted to deny it was being caused, if you do a Google search on human pathogen coral death, that's all you have to do. You'll see the studies come up from the challenge studies and all this kind of stuff. And in the Florida Keys, 70 keys, all of them are removing each and every septic tank, each and every private sewage treatment, putting in central sewage treatment, and they have advanced wastewater treatment, which removes the pathogens, cleans up the water, removes the nutrients. And the Key West is the first to have completed their project in March of last year at a cost of about $80 million, and they now achieve that. They do have deep wells still, but primarily reused a lot. They only use deep wells if the salinity of it, for some reason, goes above a certain amount. And those deep wells are 3,250 feet deep. No, none of this 300-foot, 250-foot deep wells, because what goes down will go out. And they want it to be away from the reef, and the Florida reefs are beginning to show recovery. And we need it here. Otherwise, we're going to lose sand, and you can be prepared on the South Sound Road, Red Bay area. You're going to be losing more and more trees this next hurricane season, and it's going to come up under the boardwalk, rip it up, and you're going to have what you have behind the four-way stop in West Bay. You're going to have to put those bulkheads, so it will no longer beachfront, it will be waterfront.
Caller, thank you. Thank you very much. All the best. Thanks for that as well, folks. Top of the hour headline news. When we return, the conversation with Minister J. Ebanks will continue, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition. Let Cora keep my ground so clean. The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
There's the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
The Cayman Islands Monetary Authority wants to hear from you regarding a redesign of the local banknotes. You'll have the option to select from specific themes and submit additional ideas of your own. For more information, you can visit cema.ky. Energy prices may have jumped to unprecedented highs, but for France's state-controlled power company, EDF 2022 was a miserable year with record losses of 17.9 billion euros. A price cap on energy for French consumers hit EDF profits hard, but so did the enforced closure of many of its nuclear power stations for repairs. The losses are the third biggest in French corporate history and the worst for more than 20 years. EDF's debts have spiraled to more than 64 billion euros. And conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has filed for bankruptcy but has nearly $10 million in assets and spends almost $100,000 a month, according to court filings. He owes almost $1.5 billion in court-awarded damages to relatives of victims in the 2012 Sandy Hook school shooting. Details of his finances were laid bare this week in documents filed with the Texas Bankruptcy Court. In previous court filings, he declared assets in the range of $1 million to $10 million. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The headline news are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
HSA's cardiology clinic is now located at Smith Road Medical Center. Our cardiology team provides expert care and treatment for heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, heart failure, arrhythmias, hypertension, congenital heart diseases, among others. The new location offers state-of-the-art cardiac diagnostic testing, including echocardiograms, ECGs, and stress tests. To contact, call 949-8600. At HSA, your heart matters to us.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Minister J. Ebanks. We've spoken about agriculture in the Cayman Islands and also talk about the agriculture show that will be taking place this coming Wednesday, Ash Wednesday. We've touched on housing. We're still on that. We're going to be talking about traffic as well. One of our listeners opined about the affordable housing and suggested that maybe the government housing should be contracted out to private entities. And I would just issue a word of caution in that regard, because we know that there are some housing schemes that have been done by private entities who then subcontract the work out to construction companies. The quality control is there, the quality assurance is not there, and those persons who believe that they were getting affordable housing are having all sorts of headaches as far as the construction, the quality of construction.
Absolutely right. OC, just to piggyback on that with you, to be honest with you, that would be something that I would never support, that we outsource it. I mean, there are good developers out there that actually do good quality work, and agree with that. But one thing with us being able to control what we actually build, we have to remember these are the people's money that we're spending on these homes. And we want to make sure that we deliver the quality that they're getting, the standards that they're getting. And, I know we've had a hiccup in years ago with housing, but I just want to make sure that people know that, what we are building is going to be at the top standards. OC, you were just talking on the break that, we see what was hit with Turkey with a 7.8. Cayman was hit with a 7.7, and you see the destruction that happened over there compared to what happened here. So there is a standard that we want to continue as in our building and be able to uphold and keep. And I do think that in years back, what happened is that with NECT, the problem was that the funding was never there for them to continue rolling the money that they needed. And, if government doesn't put the funding in, they are majority of these homes has a big subsidy into them from government. So this government, and I do thank the deputy premier, because he was the one that said, look, we are going to push money into you for housing to be able to deliver the homes that we need for these housing coming up. And this is what we are able to do, to be able to push to give back to the people of the Cayman Islands, to make sure that they are getting good quality, affordable homes. Well, see, I also want to just go back on your on one of your shows here. I know previous shows before that, I think the opposition leader had spoke about, or maybe it was the deputy leader had spoke about housing, and nothing being done for Georgetown, and the people that would love to live in Georgetown having to move out to the other districts because we were building and the other districts and stuff.
Actually, I believe that one of our listeners may have sent a WhatsApp message to that regard, but it was discussed.
But it was discussed on that show about it. Okay.
Definitely.
One thing I want to make very clearly, we are committed to building homes in the district and in Georgetown. I gotta get rid of that word from just central Georgetown. It's a Georgetown on a whole.
Yes.
Right? We are going to be delivering and on that site that we have, and what I call was next to the old Cox site on Eastern Avenue out there. That is probably going to be one of our first tests to do our multi-story complex on that site. That is the site that we're looking to do a multi-story one on. I've asked the government if there's particular property that they own in Georgetown, if we can actually give that to NHTT to build homes on. So I'm just waiting on the answer directly from them to say yes, that we can consider that property for housing, and we will be able to have a second option for Georgetown going forward. And the opposition leader knows that, because I mentioned the property to him when we were in Parliament. So, but politics is what it is. But I just want to go back, because I keep hearing it all the time that we have this 24-acre site off of the Linford Pearson, and why aren't we building that? And it's been hammered from both the leader and the opposition before. And I just want to say, it's not that we don't want to build on that site, but we have other particular areas that we can be doing in Georgetown right now, because there's development to the west of Randike, and this property is to the east of Randike. And if we develop that particular site to where it had to the standards and the heights that it has to come, Randike will be worse than it is right now.
In terms of flooding?
As flooding. If you had to walk in there with boots, I could tell the opposition leader he would have to walk in there. He would have to go in there with a little boat the next time if we develop that site. And that has been the approach because we have, until we can come up with how we're going to fix Randike and deal with that problem of flooding, I do not think we should be looking at that site right now, because everything that drains out from Randike goes through that particular property. And, as I said, to the west of that property, Randike has been developed. So there's nowhere else for the water to go. So if they really do have innocent sincerity for the people that they represent, they would get on board with me when it comes to that and say, look, we understand what the minister is saying, because we do not want to create a bigger problem than what we have right now. And I remember when the hurricane was coming, that we went out, we cleared all the culverts and made sure that that water flow. And I remember the leader even thanking me and telling me, said, Minister, thank you, because since you cleaned out, I did not have one single call from people in that area about that.
Okay.
But, if we develop this is going to create a worse problem for that. So I just want them to keep that in their mind when they're talking about that one particular site. Yes, there's future development that could happen on it, but we have to be able to take care of these people here with the drainage and what we're going to deal with them first before we go and create another problem.
Got you. We have 2 callers on hold. Let's grab those callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, ma'am.
I am very grateful. How are you?
Not too bad. Very well.
Okay. Good morning to the Honorable Minister. Mr. Connor, to you first, just very quickly. I was wondering if you would ask or suggest to Radio Cayman that since you can access the show on Facebook now, if they would do it so that your listeners are able to interact.
Mm-hmm. Working on that. Working on it. We're working on
Okay.
it. Thanks.
All right. So that was for you. Now for the minister. And Minister, please forgive me if I'm asking the question to the wrong minister. But I believe that you are also in charge of roads.
That's correct.
Okay, Minister, I'm a broken record on this. And I know they say you shouldn't flog a dead horse. But I can tell you this now. I'm going to my grave, not my grave, my ashes, flogging this dead horse. So I'm asking you now, as the Minister for Roads, if you would please take into consideration this malfunction junction that we have up here. It's the exit from Newlands going west, and I'm specifically speaking about no turning lane for the Savannah Post Office. Obviously, people coming from west to east don't have that problem because they can turn off in the left lane. But if you're coming from east to west, there's no way for you to cross over to go to check your post box. And that's been a problem now for many, many administrations. I've asked everyone, got promises, but nothing has been done. And that section there is dangerous enough as it is. Imagine trying to cross over there in a car to check your post box. So I don't know if you have driven that way or if you drive that way.
I drive across that every day, ma'am, going from north side to Georgetown.
Okay.
Twice a day, sometimes 3 days on Sundays.
Okay. Obviously, if you don't have a post box there, you mightn't, realize the problem of what I'm talking about. But, for those of us who pay box rental in Savannah, please, I'm asking you, could you look into that and do something about it?
So just to make sure, you're saying that when you're coming from the eastern side, there's no turning lane for you to be able to turn into the Savannah or the Newlands post area.
It's the Savannah Post Office. I think Mr. Connor is very familiar with it, so he could explain it to you.
Okay.
If I'm not doing a good job at that. But if you say you are even coming out of the Newlands Road, going to check your box in Savannah, there is nowhere for you to enter the post office unless you make a dangerous, illegal turn.
Okay.
Right
yes,
turn, yes.
All right. Now I understand you. Well, I will tell you, Mom, I'm actually written this down. I will give this task to Mr. Howard and the board and ask them to come up with a solution for us for that, to be able to enter in there. And I can almost guarantee you when I tell you I can do something, I can do it. And we will actually look at getting this done. You will not have to carry this to the grave with you.
Well, like I said, I had to correct it. I'm not going to a grave. I'll be cremated. and just to say that Mr. Connor can attest to the fact that I have been asking for this for many, many years. Okay? But I thank you, and have a great weekend. Be safe.
Thank you very much, caller. Ms. Susan, let's try grab the other caller before the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, my friend. How are you?
I am good here on the block, trying to keep my pressure down.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Ebanks. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
That's good, my friend. That's good. I wanted to speak on regard about the roads, but I got just switch that channel and go to the homes. But first, Mr. Ebanks, getting back to that proposal that I'd asked you for when you were here on the block during the meeting. I haven't got no feedback on that as yet. Nothing. So if you can remember who I was and what I asked for, maybe you can look into it and help, because I am struggling with my crops. Otherwise, from what I grow home, I am limited to what I grow on the bluff. So if you could remember about it and help me out with it, I would appreciate it very much, sir.
Okay, yes,
but,
sir.
Okay, I'll make a comment. Just wanted to say something to you regarding the homes, the building of the homes. I totally agree with you. Do not lease them contracts out to no other foreign entity or anything else. The locals does a good job on, especially here in the Brack, on how they build. They build with pride and quality. I agree with it because I built with them for years on those affordable homes. I did quite a few actually on the homes, working with a certain contractor and his brother. The issue that I have, I shouldn't call it an issue, but anyway, the homes that are going to be built for the eastern area, which would be Warren Place area, it would be nice for them to change that plan and put those homes on the bluff, the eastern area on the bluff as well, because the western area has the homes on the bluff. And I think for security purposes in the future, it will make people feel more secure by having the homes at a higher level of hurricane times and everything else. So that is my suggestion for them to change the plans of having it built on the lower land and go up on the bluff.
Okay. All right. I will. But just to let you know, sir, that the homes that are built in the Brack falls under district admin, which falls under Miss the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Conley. But I've made a note of it, and I will make sure that I pass it on to her. But I just want you to, if you could actually just give me send me a WhatsApp or a ring this later on in the afternoon, and then I can actually just go through and update you on that where we left off on the Brack. My number is 916-4249. That is 916-4249. So we can just finish off that conversation that we had then.
Okay, caller, thank you. Thank you very much for that. We have some other callers on hold, but we have to take this commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
The Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing and Infrastructure presents The Garth Guide. A Garth Brooks and Shania Twain tribute show live from Las Vegas on Friday, February 17th at the Agriculture Fairgrounds for a free show. Gates open at 6 p.m. with DJ Flex, Impulse Band, J.R. Douglas, and Dexter Bodden. Food and drink available on site and a chance to win Cayman Airways tickets. Enjoy a night of Garth Brooks and Shania Twain hits at the Agriculture Fairgrounds. Friday, February 17th. Gates open at 6 p.m. and entry is free. Brought to you by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing and Infrastructure, Cayman Airways, Cayman Distributors, Coca-Cola, the Ministry of Border Control and Labor, and Radio Cayman.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
105.3 Breeze FM live. Now it's an Man Bushman represented for 105.3 Breeze FM.
Hey, this is DJ Lynn. Join me Sundays from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 for Beach and Reggae Sundays. Whether you're out in a boat, in the backyard, or simply on the beach catching some sun, it's the perfect way to unwind for the weekend as the sun sets on our beautiful Caribbean Sea. Join us this Sunday from 2 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 Beach and Reggae Sundays.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Minister J. Ebanks. We have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning to Mr. Ebanks. And morning to Mr. Connor too, but Mr. Ebanks.
Sure.
The post office situation that the previous caller spoke about, I'm glad she finished it off by saying, this was a long time in coming, because I can remember being a listener to talk shows. For years, people have been speaking about that situation. So please let us not wait till we have a fatality or something horrible.
No, ma'am, I can promise you I've made a note. Matter of fact, I've actually just sent a WhatsApp to Mr. Howard about that to actually get something done and a design of what we can actually do there to mitigate this problem so that we don't have to worry about anything happening there, because that's the last thing I would like to or want to hear is an accident happen. And we've just spoken about it and to people have said this is something that has been bothering the people of Newlands for so many years. So I can guarantee you that we will be looking at a solution for that problem and resolving that problem for you all.
Thank you, sir. But my main thing, though, is chicken cages, and you can say yes or no to this, because I believe government should say no when they need to. But I need to know whether the answer is yes or no. Chicken cages are, I'm punishing down here, I'm poor, I'm black, I'm unemployed, I'm old. So when I put down my 2 tomato seeds now, one of the most expensive things in the cooler section, and see our feathered friends smarting on them and having breakfast, and I'm not got no money. I want chicken cages, and I want them at the best possible price. I see them on Amazon or something about like that, for $15. But when the government buys in bulk, it might be a little cheaper when Charlie go shopping. I just wonder if you can import any, and if you can do it, you can tell me. And if you don't intend to do it, just go ahead and tell me, so I can move on. Look at another solution.
It may be an opportunity for a local company as well. Why not build them right here in the Cayman Islands?
Yeah, also you're right. Maybe that's something that we could probably speak to with the prison service, that they could probably for us to build a few of them and bring them to the agriculture where we could actually sell them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will actually look into it, ma'am, and in my next time on the show here, I'll be able to update you on that whole thing.
When is the next time?
Well, I told O'Shea, trying to promise him that I'll get on his show at least twice a month if I can.
Okay, thank you, sir. And
comment,
this is for the elder,
Mm-hmm.
elder, my mentor. So want to talk about the cost of living issue with your government.
But if you wanted to take my number directly too, you can contact me by WhatsApp, and I can update you as quickly as I get an update on it also. I have no problem with doing that too.
Well, okay, now I'll tell you about the cost of living. I'm telling you when you hold government. Them old people is on what you call a fixed budget, and they're screaming. This woman said the cost of living has gone up and came on 300%. I have no idea how she knows that, but that's her belief. So she want me to say something on talk shows about it. So when you come back, then we can talk.
Yes.
You sound so so anxious to help.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
gentlemen.
Thank you very much, caller. Have a great day. Please stay safe as well. Just to bring our listeners up to date, former member of parliament and former minister who had responsibilities for roads like yourself. I remember him, Mr. Art McLean, talking about the post office situation. A proposal when it was first built, the Savannah Post Office, was for the developers of Countryside to allow access to the post office through the Countryside parking area, so that you could get from the shopping center over there, shopping area, over to the post office and vice versa. That was rejected at that point in time by, or supposedly rejected by the developers of Countryside. Whether or not they may be more amenable to that now, I don't know if it has been explored, but that is something to bear in mind, the history of that, because that was what had been attempted to be done in the past, Minister.
Yeah, just to update you, Mr. Moderator, I've just seen where I've got a WhatsApp on that there is a proposal already where to actually do exactly what you said, to join a back road going into that development there, Countryside. I haven't seen it directed for myself, but I'll after this show, I'll go down to the NRA to take a look at it and see if that's something if that's the only option they have on the table, if there's anything else that we can do. But I can tell you that we will actually be working on coming up with a proposal, not only just coming up with it, but actually implementing it and seeing it, because we come up with a lot of stuff, but we don't implement it.
So true, so true. We still have 2 callers on hold. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning. Go right ahead.
Good morning, Minister Ebanks.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Dr. Frank. I wanted to ask you if you remember that long ago they used to have boxing at the agricultural show.
Boxing?
You were too young for that.
Probably was too, sir.
Oh, you young. Well, I know because I used to be one of the fighters at the show. Me and Dale Ramon used to put on some shows and be on angling. And it was very, very, very attractive for people.
Okay.
And you got a lot of boxers, young boxers. And I don't know, maybe you could, in terms of planning at some particular point, take that into consideration as a nice entertainment event, and also to give them that maximum exposure. And yeah, I think that would add something to it. Although you got already quite a lot of events, I think that as a sporting event could give a lot of encouragement to young boys that might come there and see it, and then be encouraged perhaps to get involved in amateur boxing. It's a beautiful sport. I enjoyed it myself. So that was what I wanted to just tell you. And okay, I'll be up at the agricultural show, and I hope to see you there.
Hope to see you, man. Make sure you come tonight too.
Where?
They're Gone Country night tonight, Friday night, at the agriculture show pavilion.
Starting at 6 o'clock.
You have country night tonight?
Country night tonight.
Gates open at 6.
Gone Country. And it's free, so everybody should come out.
Well, if it's free, I'll be able to afford it. Otherwise,
it is a free show. We're from 6 to 12, sir. And this is one of the first time that we did anything of that. We brought in 2 country singers to kick it off, and we've have our Impulse Band and J.R. Douglas and Dexter Borden all going to be playing from our local side on there too.
Borden's going to be playing?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, he's magnificent. I love Dexter. I've known him forever. Yeah, I'll be there, Jake. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Good man. All right.
All right.
Take care.
Take
we
care.
have another caller,
call.
but we're going to take the commercial break first. Just to say also, at one point in time, there was the Chamber of Commerce hosted a business after hours.
Yeah.
The night or the evening before the agriculture show. That proved to be extremely popular. The only downside to it was that people tried to take advantage of getting there on that day and trying to buy some of the products in advance. And of course, that was controlled. But that is another concept that proved to be extremely attractive as well.
Well, what we did this year also, just to speak about that there, I was going to try to get it brought back into conversation somehow, is that this afternoon we have something similar as that business after hours, but it's happening at Downtown Reach. and the Georgetown flight down here. Now. So that is from 3 to 6 then.
Yes.
So that make that to go on. So what we did is wanting a lot of people to be able to come out. The local farmers are out there with their produce and stuff also. So that is a part of the show for them.
Excellent, excellent. So we do have a caller on hold. Caller, hang in there. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue. So please stay tuned.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
So much happening, so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777. Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day is back! The 54th Annual Agricultural Show at the Stacey Watler Agricultural Pavilion in Lower Valley. Ash Wednesday, February 22nd. Raffle tickets are on sale now, and for only $25, you can win $20,000 and so many other prizes. Raffle tickets include general admission to the show. For more information, visit them on Facebook or CaymanAgriculture.com.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Honorable J. Ebanks. We do have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. How are you? And congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, you read it in the news?
Yes. A very interesting situation, and of course, when we get the opportunity to have Dr. McPhail on the show to get him to explain the ramifications of it, and of course, when we get the opportunity to see the ruling, the written judgment as well.
Yeah. Morning, Minister Ebanks.
Morning, sir. Morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. Grow where you smoke, man. No weed, no woe.
Well, the only thing is I don't smoke, sir. That's one habit I now picked up.
but that's all right, too. But, Minister J, concerning the show up here, right? I am one of the few farmers that trying to really do something in the back. And just to let you know that if the same people is on the committee that was on it before, I personally will not be putting anything in the show. And I have some of the best produce, and the reason is why I speak from the, when you have a committee of people in the agriculture show, and they don't even have a paragraph in their yard, I don't see why they should be there.
You're talking about for the farmer show for the BRAC coming up.
Yeah. None of the committee members, I don't know if they changed them, but none of the committee members that was there for the last 15 years does any farming at all. We don't have any farmers on the board up here. And you know what really got me irritated? The last show we had in October before the Corona, I submitted and I had 8 prizes. I had 4 for honorable mention. That means you get the blue ribbon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was conveniently, right, forgotten to give a notice of when the presentation was happening. You know, somebody come, Elvis, they were calling your name last night, but you wouldn't there, you would drop off. I said, no, I did not know. And the chairperson of the board wouldn't even give me a call. Miss Shavela Burke said she thought that Miss Judith done it. I gave me the invitation, and Miss Judith said she thought Miss Shavela done it. Come on. I mean, if I had just won one little prize or the first time that I read the show, I could say, well, okay, hey, what it is. I was the top prize winner in the crop farming. But that's when you don't have no farmers and players on those boards. So I'm telling you from now, and I want all the people, if there's no farmers on this board, do not support the show. Let them that don't have nothing, let them carry it and get the big accolades for the outstanding job that they've done. Right? That's my take on that. Now, Mr. J, I campaigned for a marina on the block, right? I would like to have the marina up on the east, but it's not going to happen. But I would like you, I mean, I say this openly. I know you're in charge of planning. I would like you to support the marina that is proposed for the west end of the island. Because I'm a Kimabraka. I live on the east. I would like it up here, but if it happened on the west, it's still Kimabraka. I can drive down and look for my friends when they come up and have a nice place to park their boats and safe for them and all of that. And it would be a really great help for Kimabraka. So that's my word this morning. Thank you for listening, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other callers? No callers? Okay. Maybe this is a good time for us to sort of like close the phone lines off. We'll see. We'll see whether or not we will reopen again. This person has said here, quick question, can the government help me with just a piece of land because I would love to take up the local chicken, for eggs. Now, the land, property that you're talking about in East End to use for farming, would it include plant farming only, or could it be utilized for, for livestock farming as well?
We'll see, it would be utilized for everything when it comes to farming, livestock, poultry, growing, everything. So it's just going to be certain how we a certain section of it will actually be for livestock, a certain section will be for crops.
Okay.
So that we're not having everything mixed up and
yeah,
nobody animals getting out and destroying anybody else's crops. But it will, if a farmer is a farmer, and whether you're in livestock or whether you're, in poultry or whether you're in the crops, there's a value there for every one of them.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, Minister, I know you want to, talk about the roads and the traffic situation as well, so I'm going to throw the mic over to you for that.
Yeah, we'll see. We've the last week we went through our 2 meetings with our consultants from the overseas that are here to do our environmental impact study for the NRA for this particular road. And I must say that we've had 2 good meetings. The first one was in North Side, the second one was in Savannah, and the feedback was great from the people, hearing from them. I'm the only thing when it comes to the road OC is that I just want to make sure that these people actually get out and get this report done as quickly as possible. Because the more we stand up here, the time just wait for no man, right? And, I was on my way to the show this morning. I had to be out of my door 5:30 to be here for your 7:30 show. If not, I would have been late for your show. So, and I've, seen on just Facebook pages where people are, putting up pictures at times and stuff where they've at 5:30 in the morning or 4:45 they're in traffic in Bodden Town or just outside of Bodden Town, and You know, we've heard where people are talking about they're in traffic in the breakers. And then, you know, a lot of people in the eastern side island are just want that alternative to be able to get from A to B a little bit smoother, a little bit easier. You know, we're part, as you know, as the Honorable Dwayne Seymour says, just asking for 1 extra hour sleep is what they're asking for. You know, Monday night alone when I left the government building, it was 8:30 at night, and there was a traffic jam because of an accident in Bordentown. And the traffic, when I hit, the traffic was backed up almost to just past the Bordentown Primary School road. And I thought that, well, I didn't see any cars in that road. I would go down in that road and maybe beat a lot of traffic. And when I got down there, I ended up in the same amount of traffic that probably was around. So I estimated that it had to be close to about 400 or 500 cars on both directions that were just waiting on the road to be cleared because of this vehicle that was that had actually turned up on the road. And you know, I understand that happened somewhere earlier in the day, from around 5:36, and this was almost at 9. We still had traffic backed up.
Wow.
You know, that could barely move across this accident that happened. You know, and when I tell people about this road, you know, I don't want people to look at it as fixing the traffic solution problem. It is giving us a second alternative to be able to move from A to B. You know, also we've went through Ivan. We've seen what Ivan can do.
How long it took to get to East End. Yes.
You know, I've had someone there at one of the meetings told us it took him 3 days to walk to get to East End to check on his parents. Right? Those things we want to eliminate. Right? That we have that alternative. We've seen where, you know, there's capability of having earthquakes. You know, and I was just talking with a lady earlier this week, and I'm saying, what would happen if we had an earthquake or a big disaster or something, and one of our roads were disconnected, and we couldn't get the help that we needed to one of the children at the schools and stuff like that. You know, this is what this road is about, right? Going to be able to give our people that extra option of having that access point to be able to get from A to B. But you know, a lot of people, and there's been so much video footage out there about this road and about we're destroying the mangroves and we're destroying this and all the wetlands and everything. And someone asked the question that night, how much of this wetlands, this road, is actually taking up? And the people at that time did not have the number. But I received the information just yesterday, or Wednesday, sorry. Also, we have over 8,500 and something acres of what they call wetlands. This road is only taking up 1% of that. 1% of that. And 49% of that 1% is mangroves. Well, see, and what a lot of people don't realize is that this road has been cleared already by Mr. Arden. Mr. Arden came out and he said it. He says he did it all. NRA knows where the deep spots are in this particular road, so they did a lot of research already on this. So when we talk about we should move the road or shift it around, we have already did a cut and took out these mangroves or whatever.
Taken into consideration,
I mean, if you're saying that you want us to move the road now, where is the consideration from what has been removed already from there? Are you saying that you want us to remove more mangroves again by moving it again? I mean, so some people just need to come on board, and I know there's been a lot of PR campaign, and a lot of people want to know, is the government committed to building this road? Well, I can tell you, OC, the government is committed to building this road. And I can tell you, if it's even fluff that some people are saying, I can tell you that this is one road minister that is committed to delivering that road and building that road.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break. But when we return, I'd like you to sort of continue on that topic. And whether or not some of the concerns may be not so much the road, but what will happen after the road has been built in terms of opening up those areas, for development as well. And then I'd like you to touch on, I see where some work has already started at the junction of Hearst Road and the, what's it called, Rex Crichton Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Some work has been done there. It seems as if at least up to Woodland Drive, you already have the authority to continue to that distance, whether or not that work will start as well. And some of our listeners are curious to know about the Grand Harbor roundabout, what the plans are there. We did see in the newspapers that the National Roads Authority have said that they're working on Grand Harbor, and they basically have a solution for that, if you could speak to that as well. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
It's almost here. The return of the Cayman Islands Agriculture Show, 54 years strong, is happening Ash Wednesday, February 22nd. Get your raffle tickets to win $20,000. Visit them on Facebook or CaymanAgriculture.com.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Proudly brought to you by Walkers, a reputation for excellence. Learn more about the Walkers Scholarship and Legal Training Program at walkersglobal.com.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning with Honorable J. Ebanks, and looks like we probably needed another 2 hours on here, Minister. We have another question or comment from someone in the West Bay area, and they have concerns about two junctions in West Bay that they needs to be addressed, and they say that they have contacted their representatives in the district about this. So one is the Reverend Blackman and the Stadium Drive Road, and the other one is the junction of Mount Pleasant and Badabanu roads as well. So if time allows, if we could address those also. But back to the Reverend Blackman and Stadium Road, and then the Badabanu
and Badabanu
Road, okay. Yes, as well. Okay. And then we have, of course, the road going up to at least to Woodland Drive. What's happening with that? And the Grand Harbor roundabout.
Well, let me just start from the Grand Harbor roundabout. There's the team has been working on on a proposal to how to deal with the Grand Harbor roundabout. I know that the board is still in discussions of the proposal that was actually made to them on what they think may be the best one to deal with that directly. But I mean, I just want the people to know that yes, we know that Grand Harbor is one of our main sticking points, and we have failed to have the vision to actually utilize and take up enough land space before everything got built there, so that we could actually expand for the future. And because of that, that's why we're at the point where we're at now, with not being able to do much expansion in there, but having to come up more creative of how we're going to come up with that roundabout. And I have not got the final option that has been selected for that, but I think I've known that there's about 3 or 4 options that have come forward for Grand Harbor. But one of the other options is that we continue on is from what I call the CUC roundabout from up there by Kings. We have you see a lot of the work that's been going on of putting that side road going behind Kings to come down behind Country and Western, which actually would take up some of Hurley's parking lot on the edge of their parking lot, going down to create a road to actually connects down to Marina Drive areas and those, so the people in Prospect in that area could actually come down that road without actually getting on to Grand Harbor directly. But also creating that lane coming up from the CUC roundabout all the way to Grand Harbor, which is we're widening to putting the extra lane there. The hold up with that there is that CUC was just waiting on some parts to come in so that they could actually move these particular light poles and all of the equipment that they had on those poles. So as soon as they actually have them, I've been told somewhere in March, they would have all of that on island, that they can actually move that and get those out of our way. Once that is out of our way, then we would continue with that lane going straight down. There's significant amount of work that has been going into the Linford Pearson roundabout. Is actually moving pretty good. There's just been a few hiccups on it, but Water Authority and CUC again, we're just waiting on those guys to do their work there, and then NRA could come back in and finish on what's happening with that roundabout. But we know once we finish with Linford Pearson and we deal with the CUC one and tie in both the Grand Harbor one all at one time, this will actually alleviate a lot of those bottlenecks that we have going on, which then we get down into Rex Crichton, where you see now that there's some works going on Rex Crichton Road right now, where we're getting ready to start to fill that center lane now, so that we can actually get that in and get that ready, that when the works are ready for the East-West Highway, we have already accomplished all of this work already. So this is just adding in so that we can add an extra lane going east and an extra lane coming west again through Rex Crichton Boulevard until we get up there to the Newlands Road. But one thing that we also spoke about was a lot of people have this perception that once the road goes in, it's an open market for development.
Yep.
Development is happening right now, and it's actually, some of the development is actually past the road. So the development is actually, it is actually going now. Whether that road goes in or not, the development is still going, because that is the only way that the land is, right? What we need to do is be able to start to get down there, and I've asked the Premier this question too, if we need to start to maybe look in and start to rezone the properties along that particular road where that highway is going, so that we can actually control the type of development that will happen along that particular road. We hear the arguments and the people cries about the cost of land and the land shortage in space that we have and can't find land to build on. So this is something that we really need to do, is start to look at how we can rezone certain properties that are around there. But I've heard the argument from both sides, and see some people say they don't want to see no development happening along the road, and they own property where the road goes. But then at the same time, you want to tell us that we need to take the road out of your property. But if you don't want to see no development alongside the road and you own property where I'm going through, if you own two sides of the road, nothing can happen, and it's your property. But if you tell me to take it out and put it in somebody else's property, I mean, how are you going to tell them then that they shouldn't build on the side of the road then with it? So, a lot of people have said, realize that, I wish that government had the opportunity to buy up a lot of this land alongside the road. Then we could have controlled the whole thing going that way. Would have been really nice to have a whole green corridor going that direction. But, there's a lot of options of how this road can be done. And, there's somewhere down the road, somewhere down the way, that there's going to be development happening no matter what happens.
Okay. I want to give you an opportunity for some wrap-up, closing comments as well. Anything that you want to touch on as well?
Yeah, also I just want to go back and as before you wished happy birthday to Mr. Robert Scotland. So I just want to go back and say, Mr. Scotland, I salute you on your birthday, sir. It's great work that you're doing down there. Continue up the good work. I just want to tell Miss Perlina, happy birthday also. And from what I understand in Northside, today is Miss Dawn's birthday. And Miss Dawn, I just want to tell you a happy birthday from me. And one thing I also wanted to just touch base on, to just say publicly, because I've congratulated him to himself, but I've never had the opportunity to actually say it publicly. And I just want to congratulate Mr. Sir Alden McLaughlin for his award. I mean, he is our Caymanian, and it's OCW. It is time that we lift up our Caymanians and make sure that we hold him in high regard. And Mr. Sir Alden McLaughlin has, besides what the political arena looks like, although we are both on different sides, I just want to tell him congratulations on his title. I think it's well deserved with him. I see it's 9:57 right now, and I do know that today is the North Side and East End Sports Day, so I am going to be heading straight to there to cheer on the North Edna Moyle School on their sports day up there, and on also the East End School up there. Okay. So I will be heading that direction. But I'll have to find another day to come back, because there's so much other topics that we wanted to talk about that we just never got in there, right? But one of them that I really want to talk about was the traffic amendments that we have coming very shortly. And just to give a quick update to the people, some of these traffic amendments, what we're looking at, we hear that the influx of cars that are coming here in every month. And what we're looking to do, OC, now is my team has actually looked at and did some research, and what we want to do is actually kind of merge the U.S. traffic law and the UK traffic law into one, and build our law from there. And what that would allow us to do is to bring the safety standards of what particular vehicles could come into the island. And so if your vehicle does not meet those safety standard needs, it would not be able to come into this island, right? Okay. And one thing that we do, we look back at the amount of deaths that we had last year and how many vehicles and the type of vehicles that were in that, without calling the type of vehicles out. It was really an eye-opening that we have to do something, because all the reports came back that not one of those vehicles actually were up to the standards. So we have to, really look at it of taking the bull by the horn and say, look, it is time now that we have to create this safety standards for our vehicles. And also what we're looking to do forward to is actually bringing in a recall law for vehicles also.
So, yes. So that when it happens internationally, that it's affected here.
It'll be affected here too.
Well, no, I think I saw that once with Honda. I had a Honda CRV, and when they had issues with the was it seat belts, and the recall extended to the Cayman Islands, and the dealership here contacted those persons who own them and made arrangements for them to be brought in.
Yeah. So but right now there's no law with it, so we want to make sure that we strengthen the law with that and be able to add that into our traffic amendment. But I will definitely try to see if there's some time next week that we could actually get onto your show. If not, if I can't, maybe I'll have somebody from my team maybe come on there that we can actually, just give a little bit more insight, because we want to do a lot of PR work for the people and get their feedback from what they think also before we bring this down. I know when I was in the House the last time and just seen an article on Loop a few days ago about the amendments that the opposition had proposed at the time, and I was the first one that actually got up and said no to their traffic amendments, because I said at the same time, look, we already had this in the making. We're going to be bringing this very shortly. So if you want, you can add your amendments to it when we bring it back to the House. But one thing I was actually lucky that, I thought a lot of this would have to go back to the House. I was told that this, most of these can actually be regulations changes.
Okay.
So a lot of this can actually come into policy very quickly and go forward. So hopefully sometime in the next week we will be able to get on your show again, have that discussion with the people, get some feedback from them.
Of course, next week is a short week, but we'll see what we can arrange.
It is a short week, and I'm going to be very busy with all of my delegates that are coming in.
Oh yes, yeah.
We have a few ministers from around the Caribbean that are flying in for the Tuesday for that show. So, but we will try to see, because it is
excellent.
It is up to us to inform the people of the country what is happening here.
We'll try to work that out. And just to remind you, when you go up to Sports Day up there, if you're going to participate in any of the sprints or anything, make sure you warm up first.
No, sir, I can't do that.
You want to pull a muscle.
I can't pull a muscle at this time. I got a busy week next week.
Okay. Well, Minister, again, thank you very much for being on the show, folks. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to Worthy Charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling, Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. Join For the Record on Monday morning, where we will have the commission for older persons. We will be presenting our show. They will be talking about agriculture in the Cayman Islands, agriculture in the old days. We will have people participating in the studio as well as calling in as well. So it will be a very, very interesting show on Monday. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/radio.